Hey, what's up? We're back at it again, and today we're going to cover systems of productions in business. So, one of the factors that determines the success of your business is going to be not only price, but the speed at which you could deliver that service. Okay, so some of my clients come in here and they have a business, right? Let's go with, let's say, a moving business, right? They have a moving business and they want to somehow speed up the rate of their sales. And there's different things that as a business owner you can do to increase the sales that you're gonna have in a given year. I've dealt with people who sometimes I try to call and offer my services, and it kind of discourages me a little bit, and it befuddles me, because when I tell them, hey, what are you doing to raise the sales of your business, and would you like to get some more information on how to do that? The first thing they say is like, no, our business is great, we're doing fine, we don't need any more business. So me as a business owner and has someone that would like to have $1 million business, when somebody tells me that they're doing great, that they do not want to have any more business, that they don't know how to handle the business that they already have, and that they're already working long hours, that is a problem that needs a solution. So you as a business owner, if you're working long hours, there's a reason for it, and there should be considered as a problem for you to find a solution to it. So there's two different kinds of business owners: a business owner that actually works in the business, and then a business owner that grows the business. So if you work in the business, that means that you're just an employee, you're not actually growing the business. So you might as well get a job for somebody else, so you could clock in and clock out, and that's it, because you're never gonna grow it. If you're a business owner, the reason you're a business owner is so that you could put factors of production together. So you build a team, you put together some kind of structure in that business, so you could deliver that service without you being present. That's what an actual business owner should be. Business owners should not work on it, and business owners should do whatever they can for them not to be present. Okay? So just because you own the business doesn't mean that you have to be actively engaged in the business. One of the reasons that that a business owner should be focused on is how is this business going to work without me being present. So I always try to find ways to do that. Obviously, sometimes the owner needs more ideas on how that works. For example, with the mover, right? The mover has started off. Most of these people are technical people, and they have a little success, and they believe that they are in a business of their own when they're just technical people working in the business. So you have to make that step, and most businesses fail because of this, because someone might start as a mover, right? And then they start getting a lot of calls, and they try to do the moves for all those calls, and at some point they can't do it no more, and they wear themselves out. Secondly, I've had this question come up a lot, is that when hiring somebody, they prefer not to hire anyone because it's too much work and the employee is not going to do the job. So this is my first task as a business owner, is to figure this out. So I determine what service I have, and then after I have that service, then I figure out what my production rate. So if I'm a mover and I move an entire house, then I can only move one house per day. And if I have one truck, then that truck is tied up, right? Now, if I have 3 small moves, one in different parts of town, then I can only do 3 moves in one day. That's it. That's how much I'm gonna earn. Period. Right? So I can't make any more moves. So if there's 365 days a year, I can only make one big move. I can only make 365 moves a year. Now there's downtime, there's a bunch of other things that happen. So whatever I'm charging, that's gonna be my max. I can't do any more than that. Other is production rate, which just kind of went over it. How much can I produce in a given year? And how many hours am I working? How many hours am I going to be able to work? How many hours do I get sick? All these things you take into account. And then once we figure this out, maybe your first year, your second year, right? And some people try to do it all at the same time. If you're new to a business, I don't recommend that. I know to me, it's hard. That's why I like to buy a business that's already had these 2-3 years of success, so I don't have to go through the trouble of starting a new business. Obviously buying a business is a little more expensive because you're putting the money outright, or you're kind of getting a loan for it, but it's well worth it because you don't have to go through all these things. All the data is already there for you, kind of make it work better, right? So once we have this, now we have amplification tools, application tools. And what that means is that if I'm a mover, I could get a second truck, right? If I'm a mover, I could hire an employee, right? Now, hiring a truck, right, or getting a truck, that's gonna mean that I have to look over the maintenance over it. I have to make sure it's running. I have to put gas in it. So it's gonna take up time from my schedule to make sure that the tools are running correctly. So I have to take that into consideration. And the other thing is the employee. Not every employee is the same. Not every employee is going to want to work. Sometimes, personally, I've had 2-3 people that I hire, and they only last like a week, 2 weeks, and then they're gone, right? So the hiring process is important to kind of figure out how you're going to hire people, and don't hire someone right away. You want to make sure that it's the right person, and that person is going to stick around for a little while, because every employee that you hire, you're making an investment on them. And the employee is the most important part of your business, because they are actually, taking some of their time to help you out. Okay, so you want to treat them right. And then one other issue that I have with business owners that come in here is that sometimes the employee does not understand or do what they want, and the owner gets mad because they could do it better themselves. Okay, so an employee is always going to need to be trained, right? And the training boils down to you, right? So my main thing as an owner is that I could hire somebody who's a professional, already knows how to do it, and I would have to pay them like top dollar for their expertise and all their years of experience, right? Or I could hire somebody at minimum wage and just show them little things so they get some of the job done for me. So any task that you don't like to do, you could get the employee to do, and just simple steps. So normally I stick to simple, small steps for them to accomplish, and this works out great. Other things is that if you're getting to have 3, 4, 5 employees, you need to have a handbook. You need to have set steps for them to follow, because the employee is only going to be as good as what you tell them and how you describe your steps to be. And these steps have to be changed constantly depending on how things work. So if something you don't, if for instance I go and I tell this mover to go there, and it shows up at a certain time or moves things in a certain way, it's going to take a little while for him to understand how the service should be delivered from our end and what clients expect. So this has to be taught, it has to be trained before they could actually carry it on. And the other thing is, once we have these 3 steps here, and we have this sorted out to somewhat fine-tuned, then what's the scalability of it, right? So how many employees can I hire? How many trucks can I buy? How many tools can I use? For instance, if I have phone calls, how many phone calls can I answer? How much can I charge? What the competition is? All these things have to be taken into consideration when you're scaling the business up, right? And if it's the best use of your time, what is going to determine the scalability factors for the particular business that you're in? And the last thing is cost of implementation. So when you're trying to get a second truck, you're trying to get an employee, and then maybe 5 employees later, nobody sticks around. So that's going to be a cost for your business. So you have to determine how much it's going to cost you for you to retain an employee, or for you to get a truck, or for you to test out some of these systems, because most of the systems are by trial. So you have to try different things and make sure that something works for you, right? So it might have a setback on your profits, but in the long term, it should actually be great for your business as far as being able to scale it up. This is why most small business owners don't want to deal with it, because they know that they're going to have costs, but the return on that investment is well worth it. So if you have any questions or anything, let me know. Also, hit a like, subscribe, and this will help me out so I can start making more videos and keeping you in the loop with what it takes to start and grow your business. And if you find this information interesting, just let me know. Talk to you later.